In Lincoln.
All right. It's noon, everybody. I guess we're gonna get started. I will try to do better this time and getting us out of here on time. Oh, so it wasn't very much. I got first thing we're gonna clear it up is July 16th is our next meeting. Bottom up there still had 218.
Yes, and it's no mistake.
So I guess the first thing we'll start with is the approval of the May minutes. If we could, you've got them there in front of you. Assume you've all read them and everything. Is there any corrections? Or if not, I'll take that motion in a second.
Chair, I move to approve the May 21st, 2024 meeting minutes.
So moved. Any seconds?
Second, sorry.
Thank you. Moved and seconded, all in favor? Any opposed? At least, you know, the county commissioner group saying comes out and no. Really, I just learned that last time too. Next up is the treasurer's report.
Yeah, the first sheet you'll see is the liability net assets, and the assets, I don't have anything to say on those. If anybody has any questions, I'll entertain them. On the third sheet where you have the expenditures outlined, under month actual, $245.43 was deposited from interest income. And then we have some expenditures in others. You got $475 in Leavenworth Times for our half payment of the ad. $125 to Mary House County. $38.69 for Evergy for the sign lighting, $30 QuickBooks, and $5 statement fee. And all those add up to the $673.69. Any questions?
Is the interest income, is that from checking or is that a CD related?
The interest
Yeah.
from check.
Check.
That check.
Yeah, it's too early for the.
I think the CDs are rolled up into the CDs.
Yeah,
That's why I thought that.
yeah, it's the check.
Yeah, these are actually deposits.
Well, I said that, let's go, let's check it through if there's anything for sure.
Any other questions? There's no other questions. Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved. Haven't had any rates.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Lisa, you're up.
Thank you. Projects and needs for June, a little bit of a slowdown, but yet in the last week, it seems to kind of upticked again. So Project Greet, this is an existing service business interested in expanding to a second location in Lansing. So after communicating a little bit between that client and the city, I connected them to the city and then also provided them some resources, such as, you know, for technical assistance and workforce resources. So working with the city on that. As far as the ongoing projects, I kind of wanted to talk a little bit more in depth about this project transport, which just came in at the end of the month in May. This is a service company interested in 7 to 10 acres to build a 25,000 square foot building in Tonganoxie. We're working with the city and with the Port Authority. And I have talked to the client today and was given permission to give a little bit of a heads up to you all because this client is interested in a couple of lots in the Urban Hess Business Center. Understand, I want to make sure I'm clear that they're scheduling a pre-development meeting now with the city. So, you know, they haven't talked with the city yet. But if everything goes okay with the city and the city supports it, then he'll be submitting a letter, hopefully by the next Port Authority meeting that kind of asks, you know, if your guys will sell the two properties. Mary, would you please bring up the sheet that's called elevations?
Sure.
So he said it was okay for me to go ahead and show you what he expects the building to look like. Again, has not been through pre-development. This is just his initial idea. This project is, let's see, the
What
commercial,
lots?
I'm sorry.
What lots we
I-
talking about?
Yeah, and I'm
You're
gonna,
gonna get me that? I'm
yes,
sorry.
no problem. I should probably show that to you first. So while you're doing that, Mary, thank you. And if you could minimize it, not minimize it, but make it so that you can see the whole page. So you may have to move that black tab so you can see your tools. Can you maybe grab that black ribbon, bring it down? Yeah,
Down here.
yeah, I was hoping you could make that picture smaller so that they can see the photos on that sheet. I guess she'll have to scroll through it. So you see the renderings or drawings, and then she can scroll down to the bottom to see pictures of what it would look like. Okay, and then Mary, if you wouldn't mind, there's one more document in there if you'll bring up. It's called Urban Hess Business Center Lots. And I put it in that folder as well. And we'll talk about which lots he's interested in. I'll just talk a little bit more. Let's see. So this is a commercial distributor. And initially, this would be 2 to 6 jobs, but that's in the first couple of years. He expects to be at least 10 jobs by year 3. This capital investment would be $2 to $4 million total, with the building being between 1.4 and $1.6 million. And let's see, what else can I be going through? So the client would be purchasing the lot, if you guys do want to sell that to him, as well as the building, and then they would be leasing it to the company he's partnering with that actually does the distribution. There you go. Again, I'm looking for my little plus and minus sign so you can make that the whole sheet visible, but I don't see it. But anyway, so the 2 lots, well, there you go. A little bit more, so you can see both, there you go, stop. And maybe go up just a little bit so you can see both lots up. There you go, stop. There you go. So lot 4, UHBC number 4, and lot 3, block 1, UHBC number 3. It's because of the length of the building. The building is obviously very narrow and long, so it would need a couple of properties for that. He did say today on the phone that he's maybe proposing considering to consider an option for the land, the lot just north of that as well for potential expansion. So I'm not sure. I will review that letter as soon as he gets it to me. So just wanted to give you some kind of a heads up, let you start thinking about it, and
How wide are those lots? I can't quite read it from here.
maybe David or Greg, could you read how?
450 by 300.
There you go.
Yeah.
Let me use the map.
So the building's gonna be a small section, sliver of that.
Yes, and if you'd like, Mary, I'm sorry, you're doing double duty. Can you go back to the other document so they can see the building?
Oh, the building.
Yeah.
I was a bit confused too. They've got 2 things labeled here, lot 3.
And one's block 1 and one's block 2.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was done,
Yeah, no blame.
yeah, I don't know, I just didn't
I
know.
want to make sure we were talking about.
Yes.
different ones.
Boy, it takes a lot to get those
Yeah.
up there, doesn't it? It's not a quick,
So it's 60 by 415.
yes. And then he's got also by 20, so 20 feet high. Here. See that, I think,
Take up the whole lot, almost.
well, I think they're
That's
wanting
what
to
I'm
see
trying
the
to get,
top of the
yeah,
page.
how much
I
a
think they
lot?
wanna see the.
Well,
measurements.
you wouldn't have anything on each side. Oh, it'd be a bunch of parking.
Yeah.
I mean, it's parking, I think.
That's a 25,000 square foot building.
Mhm.
We don't know.
Lisa, what happened to the interest we had on those? I don't know if it was this lot or the other one that we talked about a year ago, that they wanted the right of way and.
The publication company.
Yeah.
Steel, was that steel?
Yeah.
We just, it
So,
kind of
so
goes.
nothing else is kind of
No,
on the burner
No.
on these two lots?
Isn't that lot just north of that, the one we discussed with so much of the property was unbuildable?
Yes.
more of the two that he is interested in. And I did comment on that. I said there is a gas line, there is a, water area. I don't know if you call it a detention area,
Or drainage easement.
drainage,
Is
yeah.
that what it was?
So he is aware, I don't know, I will remind him of that before, so he's clear when he discusses about it, power lines too.
Like that way.
Yeah, I don't know what stuff they're distributing, but from that, like in, out, because
A warehouse,
that building
yeah.
doesn't have much of a warehouse.
Mhm.
But if that's vehicles, he doesn't have much storage, but if you're talking about materials in the vehicles or elsewhere,
Well, they're talking, what, 3 to 6 employees in the first?
2 to 6 in the first couple of years.
and
And honestly, I don't know the answers to that yet. He's just to keep, until he sends in the letter, he's asked to keep, it considered. Not bring out the name yet, so.
so it might be filling the contingency lot for parking. It's not gonna be much else.
So 2 to 6 employees, is he asking for any incentives?
I think what he's interested in, I know he is if you will all discount the land.
So would that be enough to kind of offset any incentives, 2 to 6 employees?
I don't know, I will say, just in the last couple of years, as I've gone about to different conferences and, I talk with some of my colleagues, what I'm hearing continuing or over and over is, please talk to the communities about your incentive programs. Because of the kind of mass exodus of workforce, you're not gonna see probably a lot of jobs coming with these, companies like we were used to in the past. And that maybe, you would consider presenting more of the capital investment versus the jobs. That's.
Is there property tax abatement on these lots?
We don't, know that will come in during the pre-development meeting, I'm sure, or at some point with the city.
None of the sales tax or anything would come to us, so it doesn't benefit us. That would be this discussion with the city.
But given the fact that one of the reasons that would give us a building, I can't wait for someone to leave, when we get that building. I hate to say it, but if they're gonna leave, they stop torturing us and get.
Well, and how long have we been sitting on this?
Yeah.
Part,
That's right.
20 years? Well, this would kind of get,
It's like there just still needs to be some kind of balance. I appreciate that. I went out to, must have been Friday, just kind of looking around, because I didn't have anything else to do that day. But I was thinking, it's like, how do we balance, getting the building up and still bring in, bring in jobs? I understand that one helps offset taxes, but one of the things we also look at in this committee is, economic development. Yeah, 2 jobs is better than none. I mean, I get that.
Well, we can also, we used clawbacks before, if we.
Expansion, what's the potential for development of other employees?
All I know is that by year 3, at least 10.
I mean, how many does the Wilson Glass have? There's comparable, they got 15 or okay. Hobby Monster started out with hardly any and now look what they got.
40.
Yeah, so I mean,
Yeah, they're a star.
Yeah.
They're a star.
What's their business plan look like for 10 years, assuming everything goes 75% of the way perfect?
Is that something you'd like to see, like?
Like what's the future, what's the goals, like what are the goals of this company? Is something to, I think, consider, like,
Yes.
2 to 10 employees, that's good. But also, what do they wanna be when they grow up?
Well, I told him I would help him review his letter before he submits it, so that sounds like something we should include in his letter. You
Well,
think?
we've had people present to us. As opposed to that, he could certainly, that would be a good question you could ask him directly.
Mhm.
If you'd like to come over and talk to us as a board.
If you prefer that, I will absolutely,
Well, I'm just bringing it up.
Yeah.
Just another one, of committee members here. But, I think that's a great question to ask. It's okay, what are you planning to grow up to be?
So his original search criteria was 7 to 10 acres. These 2 lots is how many?
it's about 6 to 7. It
Is
is,
it? Okay.
yeah. I think I can do the math real quick.
And point to you
And
earlier.
then the north lot, having that will probably round out to 10,
Okay.
but it's not usable, not all of it
All
buildable.
of it.
It's usable, but it's not buildable.
We don't know a whole lot about this company yet, as far as, are they gonna be storing things outside, this is all gonna be inside? You know, that lot that you described, they use a lot of that for storing. Short of big equipment out there.
And it looks like it's a good buffer for the homes that are
Good point.
south of it or east of it.
Mhm. That is a good point.
Well, I just see that, and though it's unrelated to this particular request, I see that last lot down there is being problematic. Yeah. So your point is well made, there's an advantage to, as you guess.
That's how Oklahoma got its panhandle. Nobody else wanted it. They latched one up.
And they've tried to give it back ever since, haven't they?
But seriously, that's how they got it.
It sounds like I've got some guidance to give him. Hopefully they'll get the pre-development meeting scheduled here in the next week or 2. So hopefully that we'll have a little more information and be more sure, make sure that Tonganoxie is in support of this. Other than that, I guess to be respectful of everybody's time, if you would like me to have him present this in person, I just want to give him some time to do that. If you'd rather that I just help him with a letter and include the things that you're concerned about, I can do that. That would be helpful guidance today, so I can get him prepared for next meeting.
Well, I'd also, I mean, and maybe this would come out in a presentation, but I'd also be curious to know about their existing business, because it said that they have something existing, right?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
I mean, is there any information on how many current employees, what their current revenues are, what size of building they're in currently?
I will make sure he includes that.
Yeah, we're still talking about project transport, right?
Transport, yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because it was Greet that said it was existing.
Well, this transport has an existing business too, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because they're doing some deal with a
Another partner organization,
partner organization.
which is a successful organization, so.
Are they dealing with?
Are they local? I mean, they have them come in, I mean, that's just one of those thoughts on my mind, is that if he's local, it's easier to come and make the presentation.
That may be just my brain not remembering. I have to think back on our conversation.
I would just
I don't wanna
think about
comment
the
on that
expenses
yet.
they have and come
Yeah.
in to- otherwise I would be in favor of you just writing a letter.
Oh, okay.
We don't want to put an undue burden on it. I think it's what you're saying.
Yeah, that's, you said it better than I could say.
Well, had a little challenge with one of the last people who was asking for a discount. The building got built and everything anyway, but they didn't have the i's out of the t's crossed and everything before they came from the committee. And we couldn't do anything with it. I think they were a little frustrated with us. I know the banker involved was, but they didn't get everything completed. So they've got somebody shepherding through the process, so that doesn't happen. I mean, we're not gonna do anything in Harris County
Right.
if they haven't done anything to answer what we know about that, so they have to, when I say that, they haven't completed everything. So you all were here, for part of that, so I don't want that to happen again either. I wanna be able to help out if we can,
Right.
but we have obligations very far.
Okay, so
Is he gonna need any changes in zoning, or everything in zoning side? of it?
No. And no utility, upgrades other than typical, I don't know the numbers on that, but the kind of business it is, isn't.
I mean, it says existing, or you think it's not far from whatever they need?
This one's not the existing.
Okay.
I'm sorry, that was
Don't
the
be-
newest one.
Urban Hess's existing.
Oh, yes,
Utilities there.
yes. So,
Josh brought it up, you guys wanted to see where they can't make, sorry. See where they can take that time to come visit with us about it, and talk a little bit more about it. I don't want to. It's up to them.
I think it's too early. I mean,
too early.
they want to start asking for. a
Right, they got
deeper
plenty to do with the
discount.
city.
Yeah,
That's kind of what I was thinking. They've got so much stuff to do with the
Yeah.
city that they might not want to put the money in for screening or for
Mm,
whatever the city requirements are.
And if the city says no, you know what, all right.
Yeah.
But
That doesn't mean somewhere down the road, they'll be.
Right.
okay, so at this time, work on that letter.
Is that okay? That sound like a good compromise?
I mean,
Okay, we'll do that. Okay, thank you for that. I think the only other ongoing project I wanted to mention is Project River, just because we had an update yesterday. River is a client interested in 50 to 100 acres in the county for an energy plant, working with the county and the state. Client is working on securing funding for the project and expects first part of July. But we heard that is still moving forward. They are finalizing their funding for this project, and so it's still a positive potential project. So at this point, before I continue, I wanted to let Diana tell you about a project that she's working on.
So this is Project Sailor. Mary, can you please pull up the HVC map again for me?
The one that.
is it not on the sheet?
No,
No, this is just come back around today, so it didn't make it on the sheets. The lots. These.
so glad you're good at multitasking.
No pressure at all.
Right.
Now, if you would scroll to the,
That wasn't the right one, yeah.
no, that's the one I want.
Oh.
That is what I want. Yeah.
Oh, but she has to do something.
Yes. Scroll to, you can see that 1,400 square foot stop.
Okay.
The 1,400 square foot building, right there on the corner at Lamming and Commerce Avenue. So we were contacted back in February for a gentleman who had seen a property on our website in Tonganoxie. And I talked to him a little bit about what he wanted to do. And he wants to open a brewery in Tongi. And I directed him to talk to the city, directed him to talk to Small Business Development Center, Christian Hopkins. And he apparently did all that. Came back around to me this week about a Leavenworth County one. The reason I'm bringing it up here is because he's buying that 1,400 square foot building. So this is going to be a retail store, essentially.
Distribution point.
No, he is going to have a sit-down eating
Jason.
area, tap room. He's gonna be brewing beer on the premises. So I'm bringing it up to you because all your lots are largely industrial, and here you're gonna have this retail space on the corner. I just wanted you to be aware in case there are questions in the future. You have future people coming wanting to open retail in Urban Hess or buy a lot for retail within Urban Hess, and they want to use that as a rebuttal when you say no. So that's why I'm bringing it up. I just want you to know that there is going to be a retail entity at the corner in Urban Hess.
And know that the Port Authority does not own that property that you did originally. Somebody here could talk better about that. You guys have a story. Wasn't it a pharmacy that was gonna locate there and then they never did, that didn't transpire?
And I think he's been renting it to a printing company. So if it's been active, it's been retail for a little while anyway.
You talking about the 1,400 square foot,
That's the one, yes.
no name on it.
Yeah, which uses a distribution essentially for the pharmacy. It's like, I think you're a nursing home, something, you couldn't pick up your drugs there, you couldn't buy them there.
Oh.
That requires. mean, we have no say in it.
Mhm.
It's a law.
No, I just wanted you to be aware.
Restriction, they can do with it whatever they want.
Right,
And
Unless you've got covenants, then
We don't.
yeah.
and the city has already approved the site plan and zoning and everything, so it is going ahead.
that's so sad.
But it's gonna be really cool. so.
Okay, other than that on projects, that's all I wanted to talk about. I have just a couple more things. As you all know, we are a little saddened. Baser has indicated that they are no longer going to be a part of LCDC. I don't know what to say. It's just something that we have to deal with, and it's just hard to get people to understand some of the benefits that are coming as a result of some of these manufacturers in the community that go to retailers, schools, healthcare, all of that. It's just, unless you can point to a building and say, we brought that, it's just hard to communicate that. We will try to work with them in the future. Hopefully we can repair, their trust in us, or, whatever. It's just something we have to deal with and we'll move on. We'll just be discussing it with our board. We discussed it at our board meeting last week, and then we'll talk with our executive committee, coming up. But that's where we are. Just wanted you to know. Yeah. And then I've been attending Board of County Commission meetings, just to make sure that we're there during having presence there. Diana has taken that on, honestly, and then she was on vacation and I continued that. So we've been kind of going to those and making sure we're there. So because they had indicated they'd like for us to be present during the budget season, so we're making sure we're visible. And so marketing events that I have been involved with, I had an interview with Anthony Davis, senior producer for the Dennis Quaid show, The Viewpoint. He called, somebody said, to call me. And so I had an interview. He gave me a couple of hours to prepare. So he called me back and we did an interview. This segment that they're doing is called Discover America, Great Places to Start and Grow Your Business. I'm crossing fingers, hoping he asked me that day, he needed Mark Lawfrey's contact information. So I did an email introduction. He called, and so anyway, we're crossing fingers and hoping that goes well. That'd be a nice marketing piece for our county. Went to a couple of crew events in Kansas City and KCADC ED Alliance luncheon. And those are always great opportunities to shine a light on our community. Penny and I had a meeting with KCADC's Smart Port team. This is Ellie and Chris Gutierrez and their team, who work primarily on industrial projects in the Kansas City area. We were just wanting to talk about the Leavenworth Business and Technology Park, kind of run through with them the things that we've been doing, make sure that, with them working, they work with directly with project developers and site selectors, and they work with other communities. And we just wanted to get their advice on, is there anything else we could be doing, those kind of things. So we had that conversation. Some of the things that I heard, please share if or correct me if I'm wrong, but the way what I heard is that the trends have kind of shifted. It started out 2017, 18, and 19 with the big box e-commerce kind of projects that came in, and those needed direct access to I-70. They needed to be right there on I-70. So of course, that was not something that we were fit for. Pandemic trends shifted to more manufacturing. We saw, especially in the food and beverage. With that, maybe one of the challenges is definitely having the housing right next door, but the city has plans for helping if that ever comes up again and a project needs to kind of put a barrier or mitigate, some kind of cost share program. But they did, indicate that, we've submitted for a lot of projects, and a lot of those we're still in the running for, and it's going to take the right one. Some things that they clarify, or they confirmed that we are doing the absolute right way. That the fact that it's city owned, they made that very clear, that that's really important and very a way to attract companies, because they see that as price flexibility and helping those projects move forward through their project process. They said that the infrastructure improvements that have been made in this area are great. and that is helping us to attract prospective companies. They are said that we are submitting for our, project, this park for different projects, many projects, and they like the fact that we do it completely and on time. And so I appreciated that. So thank you to those people that I've reached out to when I'm trying to gather all that information, and I keep bugging them and saying, I gotta have this in, I gotta have this in. Well, they made it clear that having it in on the date that they asked for is really important. So know that there's a reason for that. And then also, the fact that we're attending Kansas City events and events nationally, the conferences that I go to, they confirm that those are super important, and when you're working on these kind of projects, trying to get awareness of your community. And so a couple of things that I came away with that we could do is I need to confirm with our Evergy partners that in fact, this park does have 7 megawatts capacity for power now, like today. We've always had that on our sheets. I'm sure it's true. I just need to go back and confirm, because if that's the case, according to the Smartport team, we need to lead with that. Apparently, just the fact that you have 5 megawatts is fabulous in their world, because that's how much they need power right now. I mean, that's the biggest constraint all over. So I'll be working on that. They also want to know, what timelines would be for sure if they were to get it upgraded for more capacity. So I'll be doing that. KCADC indicated that they would help us potentially with a broker event. So we're kind of talking through some of that. We may have to, get some creative ideas, how we'll draw those people, what we'll say, who will be there, those kind of things. Maybe they kind of said something about just a lunch, maybe in the Kansas City area, something like that, maybe a raffle, something that would, draw those people for during that lunchtime, and we can highlight that part. And then also they mentioned the SIOR Development Day, which is held once a year in September. That's at the Union Station. I've been typically going and stopping by and talking to different developers, but they recommended that maybe we think about having an exhibition booth, and then we highlight our community. Ellie did connect me after the meeting to the person in charge of that. Unfortunately, those go like hotcakes. So we maybe can look at next year. They did talk about potentially a sponsorship of a bar area where, they might see our logo, but I think we really should look at, what I think he said $2,500 is the cost for the exhibition. I'll check on that though, Penny, I'll double check on that. But hopefully next year we can do that.
The exhibition equipment, the displays and stuff like that.
That's true.
Do we already have that?
No, we do not.
So you might want to look at, see what those costs are too, because now you're getting into budgeting.
Absolutely.
If we don't do it for this time, we need to know what the costs are for next time.
Okay.
We may have to act on that to just to make sure we get it on hand.
Okay.
It was a really good call though, just to hear the trends in what site selectors are looking for, what their clients are looking for. I mean, the energy portion is huge. So I think we're exploring whether, that's an asset that we have, that we're just not telling the right story on that. And I think, creative approaches to how do we reach those site selectors? Is that bringing them here? Is that taking on to other opportunities regionally? So we're kind of going back to the drawing board and, seeing if there's some approaches we could take to that, given the environment and what we know. What I took away from that meeting, I think I wrote it down. You all are doing everything right. And they said, you're great to work with. They were complimentary of the accuracy and the timeliness of what we submit. They said, we wish the other organizations we're working with were kind of as responsive as your team there. So that's really good to hear. It says, these are the heavy hitters, right? Industrial, Kansas City region. And they're saying, hey, we're doing the right stuff and we're having the right partnerships and doing what we need to do. So that was all very positive from that meeting.
Great, thank you.
Lisa, on the equipment stuff.
Yeah.
You may check to see if the county or one of the cities already has a display that you can borrow
Right,
to avoid having to buy it ourselves. Then you
That's a good
might
idea.
just have to build posters that go up on it.
Okay, thank you. Okay. I want to see if there's anything, that was my last thing. Oh no, one more thing. Third quarter investor luncheon for LCDC, July 11th. The theme is going to be transportation. It's going to be at the Haymarket Square Event Center, that's the actual building across from the Haymarket Square, July 11th, 11:30 to 1. We have a panel, 3 people. We think Brian Habian is going to be the moderator. We have Bill Knoll from the county. Thank you, Bill. He's going to be on that panel. We have Ryan Barrett from the Kansas Department of Transportation, and we have David Jacobson from KTA. So what we're doing is we're preparing some questions and discussion points, and we'll get them, make sure that those panelists are prepared. If you have any suggestions, let me know, but please register with Mary if you want to be at that.
Any questions for Lisa? Okay, they see you're always a step ahead of us, so. Thank you, Bill. Listen, before we move on to you, Greg, in case everybody's not aware of it, Tom Cole is no longer with us. I think that.
He's not a member of the
Yeah.
committee.
Yes,
He's not a member of the
Yeah.
Port Authority. He's still with.
he's very much alive.
He's very much alive.
Yeah.
Guys are sticklers for detail.
It's important detail.
Yeah.
You're right, I stand corrected. Anyway, he's not part of the Port Authority. We don't know what the county's gonna do as far as appointments to fill his chair at this point. So I just want to make sure everybody got that memo, was aware of it. So I'm sorry. Haven't heard from you in a while, Greg.
Regional transportation update, Lisa already mentioned the July 11th. And I don't want to steal any of Bill's thunder. I know he's got maybe a little information on K5, but I don't know if he wants to say anything now or wait till then, but Bill, you got anything you want to add?
No, I'll just say that it appears that KDOT has contracted with Burns and McDonald for the K5 project to do some exploration of what they're going to actually fund and what they're going to do. So that kicks off Friday. So in the coming weeks, hopefully we'll have a better idea of what they intend on doing, because they have never really clarified that. And they had put out there, correct me if I'm wrong, Greg, I believe it was 2032 as when they had anticipated construction of that, whatever the project is. So they had usually they say 5 to 7 year pipeline in order to get through the NEPA process and all of the different federal processes and get the project designed and acquisition completed. So that's where they stand right now. We just don't know what the project is, and I don't know that they know what the project is. At one point, they said they were going to have some public open houses and file public comment. So I guess we will wait and see what they intend on doing, and I'll let everybody know if they provide opportunity for any type of public or even local government input.
Do you know, I know Mark put out a grant, RFP for like a $200,000 planning that I know we were looking at Baser. Did Baser ever say anything to you, or did they ever respond?
Yep. I spoke to Baser, and we are supporting their grant. We will help them out through the application process as far as if they need a representative to go there. I believe they're the only entity that ended up applying for that Planning Sustainable Places grant. So while we're not offering any financial contribution because of the budget, we are here to support them in that application.
Great. Thanks, Bill.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all I have, so.
Thank you very much. Next is the Future Funding Committee update. Anybody want to comment on that? Yes,
Site committee?
Yeah.
You want to do site committee, or you want to do future funding?
Oh, gosh, yeah,
I'm
the
sorry,
base
I
here.
skipped one.
Well, I would just say that, they were gathering more, they were waiting to get information about the final maps, and so we did cancel the last meeting. Harlan and Darren and I are just gonna kind of regroup today at 2, because Tom, before he left, provided those maps and that we had asked for, and so we're gonna look at that, and then we'll have a meeting in July. Hopefully, we're hoping to potentially have a recommendation by the end of the summer. That's kind of what were you gonna say?
If we need new maps or these maps edited, do we have a contact? Did Tom?
Yes,
Did
he
Tom
did
hand
leave
us
me
off
in
to someone?
contact. Right now, it's a woman there, so yes,
Okay, that's their GIS head.
yes, I think so. But yes, he did that contact information.
GIS is part of Public Works, so you'd want to contact Soma San. She is the GIS department supervisor. She'll help you out with that.
Future funding, I don't know if you want to talk first, Jeremy, or do anything.
I don't know anything.
I'm just kind of waiting on the response. I know at the last meeting, we authorized, to talk with Tim Gerard to go over the statutes, make sure we're set up right, look at the options of what we legally can do. And my understanding, talking to Lisa, was that they're swamped right now, that, they're going to be working on that. Hopefully we'll have some responses before the July meeting.
Thank you very much, Jordan. Panasonic impact? Anybody?
I don't know what to say. I don't think I have anything.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything scheduled, any public meetings scheduled, at least.
But somebody suggested that, even the business that is going to present to us, perhaps eventually want that building, or they impact from Panasonic. I don't know if it is, it's something we should play out. But even in small ways, we're getting an impact from Panasonic. All right, let's move on to our affiliated partners. Josh, you're lucky enough to be sitting here.
I'll go first. Let's see, things are rolling along for us. We're starting curb and mill and overlay type stuff. Sewer project is well ahead of schedule. We should be wrapping up here in the next couple of weeks. I think I've been saying that for about 2 months now, but this is actually it should be done by the end of July, if not much sooner. So we're really excited about that. We've already started having conversations about how that's going to unlock property south of McIntyre and then east on McIntyre. So still in conversations with Town Center. And so yeah, it's moving along.
Thank you. Vicky, anything from the county, Ms. Haas?
I know Vicky was traveling today, and so I believe she was joining us by phone. I don't know if she'll be able to jump in, but I'd be happy to answer any questions you have if you have any. And we have a lot of bridge projects coming up. But
I'm on a case.
Yep.
913-683. Okay. Yep.
Are you there?
She was there. She didn't realize it.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't
anyway.
have anything. Sorry.
Okay. Oh, okay. There you are. Letting everybody know we will be closing 187th Street here in the coming month or so. Maybe not even that quickly, but we will have that major closure there north of the co-op. That's a primary route here for the county.
Hey, anybody on from the city of Leavenworth? Barry?
On to the career. I think I mentioned this other meetings, but we'll be starting 4th Street work at the downtown. That's a $3 million project that will begin shortly, scheduled to end in November. That's the goal. Let's see. I think everyone saw probably in the paper that St. Mary is actively at work with construction of their new dorm. That'll be space for 48 new students. While it's not industrial, it does bring folks to the city and gives a chance for them to stay as workforce, which I think is what we would all love. So that's promising to see. I'm working on the city's business symposium. That date is scheduled for October 28th. It'll probably be a fresh lineup this year, with, connections from Network Kansas and the Girl Leavenworth County group. We're gonna bring in, a group from K-State, their innovation partners, for an afternoon session and look at technology entrepreneurship. So that's something, new and different, and that we'll probably have in the afternoon, working on the lineup in the morning. Usually that's been, the SBDC, the Small Business Development Center, the federal SBA, so the Small Business Administration. So we're putting that program together, but just kind of wanted to share, it'll be an expanded program this year with K-State in the afternoon, so very excited about that. And then I think, like everyone, I have no official comment, but we're watching what happens with the Chiefs. Whether anything with that occurs in our neighboring county, just watching with curiosity, so that's really all I have.
Thank you. Sorry. Who's gonna cover Baser today?
Well, since I'm only at City Hall every other week, and I don't get into a whole lot of their meetings, my ground zero contact is Crystal Vault. So Crystal, my friend, it's on you.
Hi, Vernon. Thank you. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
All right, awesome. So our 155th Street project is obviously moving along really nicely. If you haven't been to the city of Baser lately, come by. Miles is doing a terrific job. The trail network that's being extended currently is also moving along incredibly quickly. The 158th Street in parallel project is also moving really quickly, and we're really happy with that progress. We issued tenant finish permits to the Dollar Tree this week, so they are expected to be open and operating first, maybe second week of July. So we're pretty happy about that. We've got a couple of really large annexation requests that we're trying to work through, all together close to 300 acres worth of land. So we'll see how that comes along. We also are in the process, of designing sanitary sewer to get to Baser Town Center so that we can move forward with development over there, specifically a multifamily development that we are hoping to get through hopefully by the end of the year. And I think that's about it right now. Thanks.
Thank you. How about anybody from Tongi?
Nobody's here.
All on vacation, I guess. Well, is there anything else for the board today? Our partners online? I guess we're adjourned. Hey, we made it out here early. What time of the day is the July 11th meeting?
It's at 11:30.
During the day? 11:30 is supposed to be. 11:30.